Hey guys, I am sorry that I am not at school today. My dog actually has to go to the vet. It's actually Wednesday while I'm recording this. But April had dental surgery last night when I picked her up from work. So she ended up having to get some teeth taken out, and the doctor was kind of worried about her liver. So we are going back on Thursday to get it checked. So that's why I'm not at school today, because it's in the middle of the day, and I just want to be there in case any big decision had to be made. But hopefully she's fine, and the antibiotics did its job, and her liver's fine. So that's why I'm not here today. I may be on my computer at times checking on you, but most of the time I will be checking on my dog, making sure she's okay. Okay, so now we're going to take everything we learned from yesterday about our volume of prisms, and we are going to take it into notes, and then you're just going to practice that. So I'm going to show you we're going to go through the notes together, and then I'm going to show you my expectations on your practice page. Okay, so these are the notes that Ms. Hink passed out for you. So make sure you are on your best behavior for her, because she's a great sub, and I would hate for her to not come back. Okay, so normally I would do my iPad, but it's at home. So it says the total space inside of a 3D figure is the volume. So you guys hit that nail on the head yesterday. It's the amount of mass or space inside of an object, okay? So that's your volume, just like you learned in science. Volume is measured in cubic units, and we talked about that yesterday with our actual cubes, which I might go grab some here in a minute for this activity, okay? So this is a rectangular prism, because we can see there's rectangles, but just for your rectangular prism, so we all are using the same language, we're going to say the length is going to be how long that rectangular prism is. This is going to be your width of the rectangular prism. How wide is it? And then here, and feel free to color code this, is going to be your height. So I kind of wanted to label all those pieces for you. So this is different than surface area, where surface area is we're looking at each individual piece, where volume is we're looking at this whole thing together. Okay, next we are going to, this is what it looks like if it's the cubes. And if we only have one of these, this one cube represents 1 cubic unit. So yesterday I had you create rectangular prisms that were 24 cubic units and 36 cubic units. And so you had to know that you needed 24 of these or 36. So that's where that comes from. Okay? So to find the volume of a rectangular prism, we have to see how many cubic units, there it goes, because that's what we're looking for, fit inside the shape. Even in different shapes, we're still looking for that cube. Just like when we did triangles, we're still looking for the squares in area. Well, it doesn't matter what the shape is. You're always looking for cubic, okay? Because cubic means 3. These are 3-dimensional. 1, 2, and 3. Dimensions are like length, width, and height. I had somebody ask me what that meant. So anytime you see 3D, that means 3-dimensional. Okay, there's that many dimensions on it. Okay? So the volume formula, we had talked about this yesterday. Some students pointed this out in every class, that it was length times width times the height. Okay, and I want to just point out to you that this right here is the area of a rectangle. So really what this is it's the area of a base, whatever the base shape is, times the height of it. So like if I had a triangular prism, to find the volume of that, I would find the area of the triangle and then times it by the height. So, but for a rectangular prism, we're doing length times width, because that's our base. As you can see here, the base is a rectangle. So that's why we use length times width. But some of you may see, if you're ever like maybe on maps or something, you might see it looking like this. For volume, this B, capital B, means area of base. That's where the capital B comes, just in case you ever see that. Okay, Let's do 2 examples and then we're done with notes. So pretty quick today. So we're going to use our formula. Volume equals our length, our width times our height. So I'm going to write that down first because the more you write it, the more you remember it. So if I'm looking here, let me actually get real quick some colors that might help some of you. I can grab some highlighters, different colors to help. Okay, so, and the order, remember, doesn't matter. I know we talked about it in one of my classes that because it's multiplication, it has that commutative property. So let me zoom in a little for you guys. So if we're looking at this is our length right there. So we can say our volume equals 4 times, and then we have our width right here. So it's 3 times our height, which we can see right here, is 5. Okay, and I am going to let you use calculators on this. So if you used a calculator and put this in, 4 times 3 is 12, times 5 is 60. But remember, when we're doing anything with measurement, we should have our label. So it's centimeters, and cubed is a 3 because these are 3-dimensional, and we're not looking for area, we're looking for volume. So this, a 3, represents cubic. Okay, that's where the word cubic comes, or 3 centimeters cubed, okay? Okay, remember you can pause this at any time if I'm going too fast because this is your video to go through. Okay, so this next one, we are still doing rectangular prisms. This is hopefully reviewing you, preparing you for Friday when I'm back for us to do some more difficult problems. So we have our length right here is at 7 1/4. So V equals 7 1/4 times my width right there, which is 3, times my height, which is 5. So we're going to break out our calculator, and I'm going to show you, remind you how to put that 7 1/4 in. Oops. Turn it on, maybe. There it goes. Okay. So we have 7 1/4. So you're going to just hit the 7. And then this button unit right here tells you that you want that 7 to be a whole number so that the number behind it will be a fraction. So there's your 1/4, just like that. Okay, and then you're just going to times that by what? 3 and 5. And we got 108 3/4. So the volume equals 108 3/4. And that's also centimeters cubed. It's not always going to be centimeters, just the 2 problems I picked are both centimeters. And it's funny, I didn't even notice this though, but the height's 5 on both of them and the width is 3. So didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to get one with a fraction in there. Okay, you could also write this fraction as a decimal, and that's fine. If you change this 1/4 to a decimal, that's totally works as well. Okay, you're going to glue this in, whatever your last page is, just glue it in there, and we will put it in our table of contents later. So go ahead and do that, and then, so you want to pause because I'm going to keep going and talk about your practice. So if you're gluing in, go ahead and pause it real quick. Okay, so your practice page that you're going to get looks like this. And I want you to start on this side, okay? This side's the easier side of the 2. Because there is no room to do your work, do you see that? There's no room. Okay, you're going to grab a sheet of paper. Sheet of paper. Fold it in half like you always do. Here, let me make myself bigger. And then I'll put it back on the screen. Okay, you have your sheet of paper. We're going to fold it in half to make that crease. Because I'm letting you use a calculator, I want to see what you're putting in the calculator. So that's what you're doing here, is you're showing me what you're putting in the calculator. Okay, so I'm going to do an example for you. Actually, I'm going to do 2 just to make sure you're on the right track. Okay, so we'll start with H. Okay, so I'm going to put H up here. Okay, and either you need to write volume equals length times width up here at the top, or you can write it on each problem. So volume equals length times width times your height. Here, I'll write with blue so you can see it a little better. Okay, So then we're going to go look at H. We're going to look at our length right here. Count the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our volume equals our length is 4 times my width is 3, or sorry, not 3, 2. And then my height is 3. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Okay, so after you do that, then you can put it in your calculator. So you get 8 times 3 is 24. And since they are in cubes, you're just going to write units cubed, just like that. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing. All H, E, all of those are going to be the same type of problem, just different numbers. Okay, I want to show you how to do one of these, though. So we have Y. So if I'm looking at Y, the way this works is you have to think of they're breaking it up into 1, 2. Let me show you that again. 1, 2. So this represents 2. Same thing with this side, 1, 2. And then this side's going to represent 1, 2, 3, 4. So you kind of have to think where they're drawing these lines is kind of where they're making the cubes. Okay, so this one was 4. So then you're going to come over to your paper. Volume equals length times width times height. V equals, I know some of you, after you've done this length times width times height at least, let's say 5 times, you can stop. But I still need to see this step, the 2 times 4, which you should probably do in your head, which is 16. And then you would also write units squared because there's no label there. Or not squared, sorry. Ooh, Miss Gillum. Units cubed. Okay? And then T, S, E, those are just rectangular prisms. You really don't need, they give you the numbers. Don't forget to do L, W, and E, okay? They're down here at the bottom. They're kind of hidden. So we had H was 24. So we would come down here and put an H for 24. So that's how you fill this out. Okay, you are going to have spaces for in between the words on this side. Okay, there is a back. I don't expect you to finish all of this. I always leave more than you probably can finish. But just work your hardest. You don't need to take it home and finish it. So then you're going to go to the back. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to solve these problems. These have labels. Then you have a few word problems. Make sure you are reading carefully. They're not all just length times width times height. For example, on number 8, it's talking about crispy critter cereal used to come in a box with a volume of 2,850 centimeters cubed. They designed a new larger box, and then it gives you those dimensions. How many more cubic centimeters? So you have to find the volume of one and compare it to the other one. So that would be, after you do that, you're going to subtract. Okay, I'm looking for it also on this paper. So one side should be letters, the other side should be numbers. And this one's pretty easy to fill in. This, you're just like, whatever you get for number 1, you just put the 2 letters in, and that's it. Okay, if you finish early, I put in Google Classroom some early finisher tasks. So that'll be your option if you finish early. Okay, guys, be great for the sub. Remember, the sub has a score sheet, and the class with the highest will get to choose from a few different options of their prize. So maybe candy, a hat day pass, a music pass. So we'll see. I hope you guys have a great day and are on your best behavior. I will see you on Friday. Bye.